Okay, so this is Derek Sales coming to you with a project that we've been talking about for the longest, and we are here now taking you to my job site, a job site where you will learn where the process of the plating and detail has been done on this project. The layout guy, which is me, has came through and laid out every wall that you see, and this would be considered like an enclosed porch, so there's no marks here. In terms of studying, there's some special things going on this plate, but everything else, where you can see the corner channel that we discussed in our early video, we have our laundry room. But I do want you to notice one thing about this model. This model is scaled down, and of course this is your garage, and this area here is my brad pusher, and I'm gonna be framing with. I still have to plate this little wall here, but this wall out in front here, I'm gonna make as strong walls. So it's gonna be a pre-built paneled wall in the front like you would see in today's housing industry. And this will be the entry area. Okay, the dining room is here. This dining room is also laid out. It has a cased opening here. As you can see, I have measurements. It's telling you certain things is going on the floor. So one thing you want to realize is that you want to be able to know that in this process that we're talking about and what we're doing here, it's all about plating and detailing from the layout guy. And the layout guy is the most important man on the framing aspect of the job. All this is laid out with a crew of guys that do nothing but plate. These are carpenters, but when I was doing subdivision work, this is a specialty. And when you get to a certain part of your career in the building industry and you're a framer, there are going to be certain things that you're going to do as a carpenter that you really like doing. And there are going to be things that you're not going to want to do. It's a very physical job. Carpentry for framers is very physical, very hands-on. So, and we go through the different rooms: bedroom 3, bedroom 2. This is bedroom 1, which is the master. Bedroom 2, bedroom 3 has a walk-in closet. This is your hallway. So as you can see, let's go over plating. So this building is plated starting, this is a 2x4 wall. Now walls are specified on the plans, the size. As you notice, this size here and this size here, different sizes in lumber. This is considered a 2x4 wall. This is considered a 2x6 wall. That runs all the way across here. And it separates the garage from the inside dwelling of the house, which will be your kitchen. And you can see it's a very large space. So as you plate, you want to plate with a wall that's going to actually run through or butt. This wall is completely running through. There's no breaks except for when it gets to the front where the strong wall will be. This is just for this side only. But notice when we go to the back, all the exterior walls are 2x6, and we've stated on the plans, all these walls are 2x6s. Okay, so I just want to let you know. And as any job site that you do go to, nothing is going to be perfect. There's going to be some bad barfed wood that may be replaced or used in certain areas where it's just going to be used. So you can see this wall here that I'm fooling with right now, straightening up the plates because I did not nail these plates together in the back as I moved this thing around. So this back wall is not a through wall. It's a butt wall. And when we talked about it in my early videos, it butts this wall here. So it's butting here, and it's also butting here. This is an in-between wall. There's a reason why it's plated this way. And you want to make sure how you plate, stay consistent with it. Most of my walls that's running this way are going to be the through walls. And these walls are receiving walls such as this here. See how it's butting in between? There's an art to plating. I go from a 2x4 wall here, and all of a sudden it's notched out to receive. No, well, it's not notched out, but you can see a 2x6 wall is here because this is an outside wall. And this wall here butts. It's butting here into this wall. It's running all the way across. It's butting this outside wall. See that wall? That's a through wall. Same thing that's going around, and you want to make sure this is how you plate your job. Same thing. This is the through wall. Runs all the way through. This is a butt wall. Okay? This wall is butting. It's butting into this outside exterior wall. This exterior wall here is sandwiched in between this wall here and this wall here. So, in the framing process, usually when you start framing, your through wall is going to be the wall you want to frame first. This wall here. So when I raise this wall up, now my butt walls have room to raise up and frame outside here and be raised up now without any interruptions. If you raise this wall up first as a butt wall, what's going to happen is you're going to have to kick this wall and lean it back so you can frame this wall. And it's kind of like a backwards way of framing. You have all these other little walls that's butting. This wall is running, but it's not running completely through because it's a separation of the closet into the bedroom here. But this wall jogs out because it has created its doorway access. So we're just showing you how things is plated, where walls butt in between walls and through walls are butted from these walls here. Notice this wall butts in between these two walls outside of it. Okay, this is the bathroom. This is the walk-in closet for the master bedroom. This is also the toilet area and the tub. This is on the plans. Normally, you're not going to see the layout guy draw any of these figures or symbols. The only thing he's responsible for drawing out is so that the framer can read what's being framed. Let's take you through that. How does the framer know how to put things together? First of all, he has no idea what's on the plans. The layout guy does that. What he's trained and taught is how to read what's on the slab. You only have bottom cripples, remember, when there's a window. This is a window. All windows are alphabets. All doorways are numbers. We have a very large window opening here. Kind of my fault. Camera went berserk a little bit. So we're going to also take you. We have a doorway here in this enclosed screen porch area. But you also have a door here. Now check this out. What you're going to see here. There is a window and a door combination. So what we did was, when you see things like this on the floor, this is a king stud. It's written as king stud on the floor, okay? You have a king stud here. We took and we utilized one header to cover a door opening, TC and HDR, and header. Only top cripples in the header for a door. When you see the header, top cripples, bottom cripples, and subseals, that's a window. Since the window and door is in the same wall, we utilize one header, and we're going to just frame this one window, and it's going to be separated by floating trimmers, which means it's going to be some wood that's floated, that's not going to run all the way down. We have one header, but your subseal going to run across to a certain point, and then your framing is going to continue. You're going to see how that works out. You have a door going here into the laundry room from the kitchen area. Here's the kitchen. This is all the kitchen area here. Okay. You have also a door going into the garage. Now your dining room. Your dining room has a cased opening. This cased opening means that it could be an archway, or it could just be a square shaped opening like a doorway. But usually it has more style to it. You also have another entry point here, which tells you cased opening. And it gives you the measurement of 3'6". And you have little markers here, a mark here, to let you know in between here, there's going to be a door here. And it hadn't been laid out yet. So we'll show you how that's laid out. You'll see that. But you have this window, it's pretty large size header, 6 by 10. Why? Is because of how large of a size window this room carries. It's 2 by 6 walls. You're going to have to either have 4 by 6s or 6 by 6s or 6 by 10s to make this header. And it's depending on how long this header is. It's 103 inches in an eighth. Okay, that's close. We know that 9 feet is 108 inches. 96 inches is 8 feet. You got between like an 8 foot and several inches of an opening here. That's a very large window opening. And that's because these could be casement windows that's separated, but they need that large space because these are wood windows on the outside. That's custom. These are not aluminum frame windows. This is a custom home built. And the port of entry here tells you your door size here. Okay, standard door size here. You have your chase right here. This is a chase. Any room that's sealed off right here is going to be servicing probably the air conditioning duct. And normally, like your water heater and all that could be up in the attic area where it could service throughout. And then you're going to have your HVAC, your heating and air conditioning plenum box that's going to, shoot the central air. You also have a bathroom here where there's a doorway. Now, every X that you see in red, let's get to that. Now, those are king studs. Every X represents a header form in between the red X. You see the line here and the X there, the line here going that way and the X there. That means there's a header in this area. And that also means there's crippled studs. Top cripple studs. As you can see, my top cripples that I have is 6 5/8. That is the size. Here we have another opening. Red X marks here king stud. Everything else is studs. Okay? We have a double stud because of the way the layout ran. Now, mind you, on your layout of your building, you're going to be laying out your building in a way where you're studding, where you're going to be hooking a 15 1/4. You're going to go to the 15 1/4, and then from there, you're going to hook that 15 1/4, and you're going to go every 16 inches after that. That's going to run your layout for all your studs. Now, we have to build channels. You checked out my earlier videos. Channels. There's a line that's supposed to be slashed here. X on that side, X on that side. The large X represent there is going to be a stud that's going to receive this wall in the channel. when we build these channels, we're going to show you what these channels look like. Then that way you'll understand how the channel is framed in the beginning stages of your framing. You have a guy building your channels. All your channels are going to be built. We're going to show you what this is going to look like when all your lumber and all your pieces have been cut for your headers, top cripples, bottom cripples, subseals. These pieces are going to have to be cut. And with that being said, we have this master bathroom here. And as you can see, you're either going to, in the X, that's going to be your stud for your king stud. That's just the opening. Every X represents some type of opening for your window or a doorway. And always remember, your window is going to have top cripples, headers, bottom cripples, and subseals. I normally will put the subseals underneath the header and the bottom cripples at the bottom. The order that you see it in, okay, there's two here, but the framer reads that. Your subseals are going to always be your header size length. If my header is 63 1/8 inches, my subseal is going to be this 63 1/2 inches. My subseal is going to be the same length. Okay, the same length. My bottom cripple is going to go up underneath the subseals. That's why normally the layout guy puts the subseals down before, he writes them down before he puts the bottom cripples. But in this case, we're explaining it to you because it really doesn't matter. Some people do not even do this. I've seen crew of guys come on a job and every man take a room to frame, which is bad. A bad idea is you let 5 different guys lay out their own windows for this room. This guy's framing over here. He's laying out his own, and he's cutting all his material. Well, everybody doesn't cut the same. And you don't want to use a skill saw that may have a slight bevel. His skill saw might be square. His might be beveled a little bit. And the cuts of the cripples are very important. You want all your cripple sizes, top cripples, bottom cripples, to be cut from a mitered saw or a radial arm saw. That's going to be on the job site somewhere else. There's only one guy cutting everything. When you have more than one guy cutting, then there's going to be a problem. And that problem usually becomes in someone may not know how to measure or get the right correct measurement in order for these things to be cut at a consistency. Headers need to be cut. They don't need to be cut unsquared. That's bad, poor framing. It doesn't really look good. Your top cripples need to be cut square. You don't need to have a bevel on them. That doesn't look good. Because when we plate this, our double top plate for our horn is actually going to go over the top of here. It's going to go over the top of this wall here. And that's so it locks, this wall locks in between this wall here and this wall here. So every mark, again, king stud. The framer is going to frame what he sees on the ground. Notice how tight the king stud is. It's pretty much almost the only stud on the outside. But if there's any room left, he's going to put a piece of plywood on that corner in. If there's a gap, he's going to close that gap up with a piece of plywood or something. He's not going to leave that gap there. Things need to be tight and they need to be right with the garage and everything. So we're going into the phase of framing. Even in this room here, there's a pan frame ceiling that's going to be here. We'll explain that to you a little later. As you can see, I want you to get familiar with how everything here is plated, running all the way through here. And these walls, little walls, they're going to butt right in. What happens when you have a wall that butts in and another wall that butts in from the opposite side? Well, evidently, the double top plate here is going to be cut half to fit on this wall. And this double top here is going to be cut half. to fit on this wall. So both of these walls will be plated and locking here. And we're going to lock straight onto this wall here. Now we do have a break here, but it doesn't really matter. We could take this wall here and stop the plate. We could take the double top, run it all the way through, and we can just butt this one. But this wall needs to tie here. You're going to have a stud here on the end that's going to support it. But this wall needs to tie to this wall here. And this wall can just, the double top plate can be cut flush, and this wall could just be nailed straight into this channel, because this is actually going to be a channel on this wall here. It's a channel because there's a wall that's receiving on both sides. It's like a double channel. So just kind of let you know, this is the framing process that we're getting ready to undertake. Stay with us. Stay in tune on what's getting ready to happen, because we want you to understand all our framing that we're doing is going to be for you to get enhanced with the knowledge that you need, because what we taught in our 14 other videos, it all leads to this point here. And then you will understand when you go through this layout with me on this detailing and this plating, and you've seen how everything was plated, you go over it, look at it, examine it, because everybody doesn't know how to plate. And some guys log cabin plate, which means they lap one end and then the other end runs by. Now, I don't want you to learn that. I want you to learn how walls can tie together and how they can connect and how they hold strength value to each other. Walls need to be strengthened to hold on to other walls and make that wall all lock in together. Because when you plumbing and line this wall, we're going to go through plumbing line when you see the walls framed up. This whole bottom floor is going to be framed up. You're going to be able to identify doors, windows, go through the other videos. You'll be able to see how we calculated the doors and the windows. I'll take you to the plans. Now, these plans that I will be showing you, they're marked up heavily. And it may look confusing, but I do want you to know that you need to know how to mark up a set of plans. I had to do a little ingenuity with the plans. It's because these are old plans that I took from a book, and basically I recreated the floor plan. I eliminated some of the things on the plan because it was a different type of house that had a basement. I took away the basement, made this a single-story home. Now, there's no floor plan in terms of a joist where you can see the joists and how they run. The most plans today on the structural page, you have a structural page that's going to show you your second floor joist plan or your ceiling joist plan. And it's going to show you the lines on that plan, the direction that the ceiling joist is running. Well, we have ceiling joists here that's 2x10, but we also have a hip roof. This hip roof here is pretty large, nice size hip, okay, with continuation hips. Okay, so you're going to have to understand one thing. Your ceiling joist for a hip roof, you're going to have doubles. That's 32 inches off of the wall so that your hip can get on the corner and rise up without it having to be notched for your ceiling joist. And 2x10 ceiling joist is a very heavy ceiling joist. That's a floor, but this is for a ceiling. And all the space that's in this attic is going to suffice for your water heater, your air conditioning, plenum box, and all your ducting that's going to register throughout every room to cool this house down. But we also have a fireplace in this living room area that's going to have to be built. It hadn't been laid out, but we're going to lay that out so you can see how that gets done. Everything usually gets framed first. Then the fireplace is pretty much the last, because we even want the roof to even be up, because the roof has a slope. That fireplace is in a vaulted area. This is a vaulted area that we're going to be dealing with when it comes to this living room. All this is vaulted. This is open. Goes all the way up to the roof. This is open. See, I got written down, vaulted ceiling. Just so you know, that that's the responsibility of the layout guy. is to write that down. And any walls that's going up on angles, it's his responsibility to write out rake walls as far as giving you short point to high point. And that's rake walls or walls that's on an angle. You have a high point and you have a low point. And that's going to give you the pitch. So stay tuned for more of this video. We're coming at you live. We're coming at you. We're getting ready to get into it. This is the meat and potato of framing. And I needed to start you out with the other 14 videos so you can actually know what you're getting yourself in. It's going to be comprised as like a course of carpentry, so you got the feel of the beginning to the end. Stay tuned. We'll see you later. Bye.